been a big 3 years. It's really confronting when you start to realize that the vision that you've always held for yourself in your mind and the actions and the choices that you're making really are not aligning at all. I always craved to make a positive impact on this world, to help people be the best version of themselves, the best that they possibly could be, and yet I wasn't even close to being the best version of myself. Looking back now, I think anyone could have predicted a big wake-up call was just around the corner. Somehow I went from being a confident, overachieving kid to a fearless teenager to someone who knew that I was wasting my potential. Enter universe. It decided it was time for a wake-up call. I had heard about these spiritual awakening things, but I didn't really give them much thought. To be honest, it seemed like an excuse for people to just change their personality or to seem more holy or something. Turns out, spiritual awakenings are nothing like I thought. It started with a little bit of, I guess you could say, magic. Some incredible healing abilities coming online, some signs and synchronicities that couldn't be explained or denied, and then it took a deep dive into the darkness. Every unhealed part of me came up to the surface to be dealt with. I had to break the cyclical pattern that I was in. It was time for me to get off this ride. I started making changes, but it wasn't enough. I wasn't shifting the density quick enough. I still had way too many bad habits encoded in my system. I was really hurting my body. So it stood up and it fought back. The recovery was the worst part. Sometimes it took weeks and sometimes months to come back to me, to who I was. The meds that they put me on made me a completely different person. I could feel me, the real me inside, but I wasn't responding to anyone or anything the way I wanted to. It was just pure rage. I never could have imagined something changing my whole life overnight. It was like being instantly severed from the life that I had known. Nothing was the same, and nothing could go back to how it was, as much as I tried. That chapter was done. It really was hell at the time, but I look back at it with such gratitude now. It was the push that I needed to shed the final layers of distortion in my life. It stripped me of all the bullshit behavior that I couldn't seem to let go of. Even though I wanted to, I just couldn't shift it. All of our greatest challenges become our greatest teachers, always. Sometimes you just have to be broken so that you can rebuild in a whole new way. new me started to show herself through new interests, newfound respect for myself. The things that once stimulated me, like alcohol and cigarettes and mainstream entertainment, suddenly seemed so juvenile and uninteresting. I was drawn to educating myself all over again with fresh eyes. I was excited to rebuild myself in the vision that I had always held in the back of my mind of what I knew that I could be. She was epic, and I became determined to bring her to life. I started reading. I started painting. I started working out. I stopped ordering in and fell in love with cooking again. I meditated and dove into energy work and healing past life and ancestral wounds that I was holding on to. I became the student, a role that I now choose to play for the rest of my life. And I watched slowly but surely as my fears and doubts and heaviness all dissolved, and the power that had been dormant inside me for decades finally took the lead. The part of me who needs no validation and no escape from a reality. I know who I am, I know what I want, and finally, I know that I deserve it all. I feel like my story is literally just beginning now. This is why I wanted to start documenting my journey, because I can see some really incredible things ahead. The life that I had before was lived by a version of me that I don't even really recognize anymore. I thank her for getting me here and for all of the lessons that she's integrated into me, and I let her go. I'm now watching myself step into the life that I've always dreamed of. And I can see now it was only ever me in my way. We've all heard this before, but it really was just me in my way. And I refused to stand in my way anymore or dim my light for anyone. I did that for way too long. The treasure that we're all seeking is real. The map is revealed when you start showing up for yourself. Trust me on that one. I found what I was looking for all along. It was right there, waiting for me to strip back the noise. My true self, unapologetic, untamed, just me.